sideways for a second?
Dude, go diagonal for all I care.
I'm not OCD about my tanks. I think people who are OCD about their tanks have become like the de facto standard of tanks. And I want to say to everybody, you reef the way you want to reef. Don't let anybody's system define how you should be doing your system. You know, as long as it's safe, then that's the only reason I'll talk about cord management of any kind is for safety. If it's a mess and you understand your mess, fucking you do you, baby.
Oh, you talking about like people freaking out about your cords and stuff?
Yeah, people always freak out about my cords. They used to freak out about my salt creep, and now they freak out about my cords. And it's just like, especially because my cords are behind a door. So the only time you see them is when you're doing maintenance. So it's like organizing the silverware drawer. I also have a problem with that. It's just not important to me, or my closet. I don't care if my underwear is folded. What the fuck? But I get that some people care about that. I just don't. I just think that what we see most of the time is a super cleaned up version of people's tanks when they take pictures of them and stuff. And people think that that's the way it has to be, and it doesn't, man. You just do. If your tank, you know, if you got salt creep everywhere and you clean it up once in a while and it's not dripping over the sides, you know, to ruin your floor, or, you know, who cares? I don't care. Why should you care?
I guess my caveat is don't make, because Lord knows we've seen enough of this, and even recently, don't have your tank be some sort of electrical fire hazard.
That's the most important one, right? So, but if you got salt creep on the rim, or if you're like me and you've got lock line over your tank, remember it's got to be over the tank because it drips. And it's got salt creep on it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Who cares? Unless you don't like it. But is that how you want to be spending your time, cleaning your lock line once a week? I mean, if it is more, don't take my crazy looking face when I go, yeah. If that's what you dig, baby, you dig that, right? Oh, by the way, my new lock line thing, you know how I have my lights hung from that armature? There's the four posts up on top that things hang from. I've now taken silicone cased copper wire, like for plants, and I've tied that up to the top, and then I support the lock line with that. So it goes, it's now supported, so the lock line doesn't dip anymore.
Did it sag on its own?
Sometimes, especially as I've gotten weirder with the lock line, and made longer runs and things like that.
Does the copper kind of bugs me? Does that scare you at all?
The copper is inside of the silicone.
For sure, but what if?
That little end of copper sticking out in the air above the tank, I'm not worried about at all. In my tank, because there's plenty of ventilation. So I don't think that the copper's never in contact with water, and nothing's ever dripping off of it. So I'm not worried about that at all.
Okay. It just feels like, hey, I got this mercury encased in silicone. I keep it in my cheek.
I do not use that silicone encased wiring in contact with water for that reason.
Okay.
I think it's more like, hey, I've got this mercury in a jar and I keep it in my pantry, being worried that somehow it's going to jump out of the jar into your food. Meh.
We should all keep mercury in our pantry.
I've got some, actually. You can also seal the end if you want with some silicone, and then it's the whole thing is sealed. So, so anyway, reef the way you want, baby. Don't let people tell you anything. It's your tank. Let your freak flag fly. Do it the way that makes sense to you. That's how you're going to learn. If you're dealing with recipes all the time and trying to do what other people are telling you, you're going to learn much slower. Learn for you. The tank's for you. The tank is not for other people. Oh.